who logged in and are joining us from home tonight to talk a little bit about our seniors in the EBA for this coming school year. This session was prompted by a couple different things. One, we've been getting a lot of similar questions from senior parents. And two, we have some information to share with you that might help in your decision making moving forward. And so joining me tonight, our principal, Ms. George, is here. Mrs. Thompson, the EBA school counselor, and Ms. Rutsis, who is our internship coordinator, teaches that class for our seniors. So I want to thank all of them for being here, and certainly thank you parents and students who are watching us. You are able to, there's a Q&A chat box that I think you guys can access through your computer. I'm going to go over, it's at the bottom, I'm going to go over, I only have about 13 slides of information. Please know that we get new information every day. It's only been a week that we have adopted this plan that the superintendent unveiled. Certainly you can go and access that document for more specific information on certain topics, and our school division is putting out as much information as they can. Just know that information changes sometimes from day to day, and we're doing the best we can to give you the information that we have during this time. So we'll be happy to take your questions. Sometimes it's just that we are taking your question and writing it down, and we might have to think through it, or we might have to ask some other folks, you know, to get you an answer. Also, tonight's presentation, some of the questions that you guys put in our survey were very specific, and we're not going to get into any personal particulars tonight. I would ask that if there's a personal issue or concern that you have that you want to address, that you send an email to me so that we can set up a time specifically to talk about your individual concerns or questions that you may have. Tonight's information is very general in nature. So I'm going to attempt to switch the slide. Okay, so just I wanted to be able to present you an overview of option 1 and option 2, and some of you have started to put this information into parent view and let us know which option you're selecting. Option 1 is based on health data described in our superintendent's plan. Students would return to face-to-face to Kempsville High School. In this scenario, students are taught by Kempsville teachers in a virtual setting or a face-to-face setting if we are able to get to a place where we are able to be face-to-face as a school. In this scenario, students are able to be taught by our academy teachers. So in option 2, that is students selecting to be fully virtual for the first semester and would attend the virtual learning center, which is going to be like a separate school. Your student is still a Kempsville student, but they are concurrently enrolled in the virtual learning center. So the students would attend that for term 1 or semester 1. It's term 1 now that we're on a 4x4 schedule. And we will attempt to accommodate the course requests, but academy classes may not be offered at the VLC. And that's based on the fact that we offer specific classes in our academy program, and we have specific staff members who teach those courses. And a majority of our staff members at this time are going to return to Kempsville to teach in the face-to-face setting. So parents and students, if we are unable to accommodate the courses that you want at the VLC, once we get your information back and we have all this data to pull together, we would contact you and let you know if we can accommodate courses that you need. But we're going to do every attempt that we can. We're not, all students remain academy students. It may be a difference between you taking a course term 1 versus term 2. We are asking that all families make their choice in parent view by 8/12, and we are tracking that data. So if you have gone in and selected an option and you go in and change your mind, please email me to let me know that you have changed your mind and you've changed it, because I'm tracking that data on a spreadsheet. And we are also calling as we can make our way through the alphabet to make personal phone calls regarding that decision based on whether we see it in parent view or not. So please, you know, let us know if you need to talk to us about your decision before you make it. Any questions about option 1 or option 2 that you guys see out there? Okay, and we are, like, this is not in the presentation, but we are on a 4x4 schedule. I'm sure that at this point you guys have researched that or you're aware of what it is. But you will take 4 classes, the same 4 classes or 3 classes every day at Kempsville High School, and then you'll have a new set of classes in what we call term 2. So you're essentially only managing 3 or 4 classes at a time versus having your full AB schedule. So,
Ms. Simlin, if I can just remind people who are participating, if you have any question at any time as Ms. Simlin's presenting, just dump it into the Q&A chat box where it says Q&A, and then we will let Ms. Simlin know those questions that you have. So don't feel you have to wait till the end of the presentation.
So Academy senior requirements, these have not changed. Honestly, our seniors are in the best possible situation because if you've been doing what you're supposed to be doing all along, you should be almost done. Seniors essentially need 2 master classes this year, and we track those master classes by Ms. McKittrick. We are going to offer virtual master classes starting in September, and students can log in and get the credit that they need through attending those virtual sessions. We will have 1 a week. And we will start setting those up. You can check our Schoology page and you can check our updates for our most up-to-date schedule. Seniors need 20 in order to get the Academy medallion. If you entered it as a sophomore, you only need 12 master classes. But like I said, if you've been doing them all along, you should be at a place where you have 18 or 10 and you only need 2 more. Community service hours, it's a 100-hour requirement. Again, we've told you all along to earn 25 hours a year. So hopefully you've been doing that and you only need 25 more in this senior semester. We have modified how you can earn those service hours. Students can make requests to me, and I have been approving those in the spring and in the summer. In the past, we've not allowed parents to sign off on logs, and we've not allowed you to do things like babysit your siblings and things like that. In this climate, that is considered service as long as you're not getting a payment. So if you're tutoring a sibling, or if you're helping your parents by babysitting a younger sibling while mom or dad has to work from home, or if you're helping a neighbor clean up their yard, or you're making masks, or all of these different things, folks have been really creative, and I've gotten a lot of requests for how to track hours. You just need students need to email for approval on what they want to do to get their service hours. You can get a report, an updated report from her emails on the screen, Cora McKittrick at bbschools.com, and she will email you a report showing you how many master classes and service hours you have at this time. We always send these reports out or provide these reports to all students in October, but you can get a report anytime you want by emailing Ms. McKittrick. So, and we will email out reports to everyone in October, but just, be proactive and kind of see where you are. At this time, all of our seniors have made the job shadow day requirement, and everyone has the industry certification requirement. So those are not ones that we're concerned with. Question, Ms. George?
Yes, there are 2 questions, and it might be you and Ms. Thompson. So the first one is explain how the courses are going to be daily again, please. So explain the 4x4 again.
Okay, so 4x4, depending on the classes that a student takes. So if your child registered for, let's say, 8 classes this year, they would take 4 classes every day for 90 minutes for an entire term, or formerly semester. So starting in September to January, they would take the same 4 classes for 90 minutes every day. And then that class ends in January, and a new set of 4 classes start in February, where you're meeting every day. So you're only taking 4 classes at one time. Is that clear as mud?
And then the other one, what if your child has early dismissal?
Well, at this time, those were course requests for you to get an early dismissal. Right now, we prioritize the courses and ensuring you're getting the courses that you need in your schedule. If you had an excused block, I know Ms. Trevino's worked with the schedule to be able to put that excused block in the 4th block. You should still have it. In some cases, I know that some classes were only offered 4th, so she may have moved it to a late arrival in a 1st block. But it's our schedule is driven based on the courses that you're requesting, and we're trying to make sure that you get the classes you need for graduation first.
And can you clarify the internship hours? There was a question about, has the internship hours changed?
we are going to get into the internship in just a little bit.
And then I think there are questions about the 4x4 ATC and graduation. I know you're going to be getting into that soon, so I'll hold off on those questions.
Okay. So Academy requirements continued. In order to get the Academy medallion or earn the Academy medallion, all students must be academically eligible, which means they must be above a 2.5 GPA at the end of their senior year. Most of you are on the track to do that right now. Just remember your GPA matters, your grades matter through the end. So you want to try and get the best grades possible. All of our students have to work towards the Advanced Studies diploma in order to earn the Academy medallion. So all of you are currently on that track. You need to make sure that you've met all of those requirements for the Advanced Studies diploma. And you must meet the EBA coursework that we require, which in senior year is AP English 12 or dual enrollment English and the senior internship course. So I'll get into the internship course a little bit. This course is a required course as a part of our school board proposal. So it is not going away due to COVID. It is a course that we are required to offer, and it is a course that's a part of our approved program through the school board. So this course remains our capstone senior year course, where our students will complete coursework and a project and present those results at the end of the year. Ms. Ritzis will be back in her office on August 12th, and she'll work through revamping the course as she gets back into the office. The course will look different than it did last year, and then it was supposed to look in a time when we were not in COVID. We are still getting leads. I got an email today from companies who want interns. Some companies are looking for folks to report virtually, which obviously is ideal in this situation. And we do have some that are willing to compensate employees and do want students to report face-to-face. Those are obviously family-based decisions. We are not telling you that you have to go physically to a place to satisfy this requirement. Students are able to report virtually to settings, and we do have companies who are interested in working with you on that. So if you still don't have a placement, that's fine. Some of you, based on the internship now being on a 4x4 schedule, some of you will be scheduled for it in term 1, starting in September through January, and some of you will be scheduled for it starting in February, January through the end of the year. So depending on where that course is scheduled for you is when you would need to have a company that you are working with. And that's really the change is the hour requirement right now. There's not an hour requirement that we have. And honestly, the hour requirement, it's never been about the hours. I've said this for years. It's about the learning experience. It's not about accruing hours. So it's about the learning experience that you have. So in this setting, in order for students to be able to meet the expectations of this course, they have to partner with a company. They're going to be researching the company. They're going to be working with the company, and they can do that virtually or remotely. And we do have places that want to work with them. And we know that you guys have your own leads of folks that want to work with them, whether it's a family friend, whether it's mom or dad, whether it's whether it's a current job that the student has. All of those things are possible for them. They are going to need to have a company that they're partnered with in order to meet the expectation of the course. So it will be modified in a virtual setting, but they will need to have some sort of community organization that they're working with. Ms. Ritzis, after she's got a chance to get back in the office and get her feet wet, she'll look at what the hour requirement is, and it might be different based on the individual and what the student is able to accrue hours-wise. So that it's never been about the hours, it's always been about the learning experience that a student can have. The students will create their capstone project. That will still take place, and they will still present, and all of those presentations, whether you have the course in term 1 or term 2, all of those will take place at the end of the school year in term 2. There is the opportunity, and this is something we wanted to share with you, which was new for us. Students can take this course twice. So if there is room in your schedule and you want to have the internship, in term 1 and term 2, you can have that, and we can double enroll you, and you can earn a credit twice for the class. So if that is something that you are interested in doing, you want to have the internship full year, you want to have that experience, You just need to email us or email me and let me know that that's something that you want to add to your schedule, and we will make sure that you have it in both term 1 and term 2. And so then you can get 2 credits. So the course will be modified. It is a required course for the Academy program for students to have to complete. We worked with our students at the end of last year, having to finish it up differently, and we're going to work to start it differently this year. So I think that it is a daily course, so that some of that is going to change, where students are not just not logging in, they are going to be expected to log in daily and meet with Ms. Rootsis, whether they have it in term 1 or term 2, to get their assignments or to figure out what they're doing that day with her in her class, and then they will be able to do what they need to do. So I'm sure there's questions.
So question, will we still be writing the iSearch paper?
Yes. Research component, capstone, it's still a capstone, still a research-based course.
All right. Will you be giving us the lead information for people who need them?
So yes, so we've been, and all summer long, Ms. Ritz's posts leads. I see it in Schoology. She posts leads in Schoology anytime she gets one. So you guys are all in a Schoology group for the internship. Students, you can check that. And then if you need specific help, I know even over the summer, she has worked individually with students who have reached out to her directly. Obviously this is summer for her. So like, she's not on the clock right now. So we need to be respectful of that. And we're also not under a gun in terms of hours for anything. So we're not pressing this issue. We will help you find a lead as you get into the course and even as we get into start the school year. So those of you that have a placement right now, awesome. Those of you that don't, we're going to help you.
And clarify about the internship for the year. There was a question, so he won't be interning for the whole school year. I think if you can clarify.
No, with the change of 4x4 at this time, we've looked at it a lot of different ways, and the internship, the course portion of it will take place in the term that you have her class, but the capstone presentation part will happen at the end, whether you have it in term 1 or term 2.
Are you going to assign the term to the students? I guess the internship term.
So the terms are, it's based on the master schedule. Our schedule is driven by student need right now. And so Ms. Stravino is working with that. I mean, honestly, if I could put it all in term 2, I would, but that's not possible with our numbers. So the terms are based on, it's just based on other things that happen with the master schedule. It's not driven by anything in particular, and it's not handpicked one way or the other.
And the last question that you have about internships is, if the student has turned in their internship packet but has not received an email that it was approved, when will they know that it has been approved?
Ms. Ritzis will be back in the office on August 12th, so I would just follow up with that. If you haven't received an acknowledgement that she got that and that your topic's approved, just email her. She'll be back next week, and she will be following up.
And I think after the answer that you gave about the internship, question came back from the same individual that the student could complete all their courses and complete the internship by December.
I mean, so I'm not sure what that means exactly. I get into graduating early. Our students will be required to finish the full year of school. So I guess it's possible that you could have your graduation requirement classes all done in term 1, but we will have a capstone presentation in the spring, and our June, we only have 1 graduation in June and 1 academy ceremony in June.
And the capstone is a requirement for the academy, and it is a requirement that is part of the whole academy program.
Correct.
Proposed to the school board. Okay.
Proposed to the school board. We are following in line with what our proposal says.
Other than student responsibilities, what information do you need from the company for the internship? Is that something they should wait to get in touch with Ms. Rootsis next week, August 12th?
Sarah, or Ms. Rootsis, do you want to respond to that?
You can unmute yourself. No, you can't unmute yourself?
Okay. Yeah, so you would connect with Mrs. Rootsis regarding what is needed from the company.
If you check out the internship manual, it outlines each of the documents that need to be submitted. All of that is available in the Schoology group under resources.
Okay, I think that we're good right now.
Okay. So moving on, I got some questions on special programs that are connected to the EBA. So what happens with programming that's connected to us, like the ATC and TCC? So the ATC operates as a part of VBCPS. So when you are selecting option 1 or option 2, that decision will follow your placement at the ATC. And you would honestly need to get more information from the director, Mike Taylor, at the ATC with what they are doing with option 2. I know that we're all starting virtually. I know that we found ways that we are able to provide the virtual platform at the ATC to our students through their Chromebooks. And so I would imagine those that are doing option 2, they're going to find a way to make that work. The ATC and TCC, our change to 4x4 doesn't affect the schedule. Really, they were operating that way to begin with. I mean, the ATC kind of operated as a 4x4 as it was, and the TCC schedule is a Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday schedule. So our 4x4 doesn't affect our TCC on-campus classes. So the ATC information, when you're selecting your option, you need just to consider that, you know, if you're picking option 2, what does that look like for you with the ATC? So with TCC, they're their own institution. So the courses that we offer on their campus are subject to their decision-making regarding going back to school. So our accounting, our econ, and our biology are subject to what they decide. If they decide to come back on campus during the spring, then in order to take those classes, our students would have to comply with what TCC has said. Right now, their fall classes, the whole semester is online. So we know TCC, the econ, the accounting, and the biology that start August 24th, by the way, for those of you taking those classes, they start in like 2 weeks. Those courses are starting online and will stay online for the fall semester. We've not heard what they're doing for spring at this time. The DE courses that we offer at Kempsville are subject to our Virginia Beach City Public Schools guidelines. And so we're looking at scheduling right now and how that's going to work with those of you that need DE classes and want option 2. Just keep in mind their course requests, and like TCC DE classes are not required courses for the academy program. It's a choice to pursue the degree. Any questions with that? Okay, graduating with an associate's degree. Am I still on track to graduate with the associate's degree from TCC? If you were on track prior to the end of last school year and picking your course request for this year, and we haven't changed your course requests, then you're still on track. We met with TCC today. They want to get our seniors' names early to start meeting you and pairing you up with a counselor. So I put a form out in the senior group about a month ago. If you think that you are going to have finished all 61 credit hours of the degree, I need you to go on and complete that form, because that's what lets us know that you think you're going to graduate from TCC this spring. So we need to be able to cross-reference your coursework and get you hooked up with a TCC advisor so that we can make sure you're on track to earn that degree at the end of the school year. Anything else with TCC or ATC?
So if a student is enrolled at ATC, will they have the course the entire year or just the semester?
The course is the entire year, from what I understand. Their scheduling hasn't really changed.
There was something about what about students at ATC, but I'm going to assume that you answered what that question was because you talked about ATC specifically. So if there was more that person needed, they can type in another question for us.
And please understand the ATC, they're Virginia Beach City Public Schools. They're an entity of us, but we don't work on the same campus every day, and they are their own building with their own principal. So I would have to direct a lot of your ATC questions to Mr. Taylor or Ms. Ford, who's the counselor there.
think that's all that I have.
Okay. So this one came up quite a bit, and I think this is one of the questions that was alluded to earlier regarding senior status and graduating early. So, you know, if my student just needs English and government to graduate, can he or she take those courses in term 1 and graduate in January? The short answer is yes. There are implications if a student pursues that option. Pursuing that option would remove the student from the academy, and the student would need to plan to enroll and graduate from their home school. The student would also not be eligible to participate in any VHSL interscholastic activities, which leads us to our next question. What's the minimum number of classes a student can take their senior year and still participate in athletics? It's take 5, pass 5. So our students must be enrolled in at least 5 classes this school year, and they must pass those 5 classes in order to participate in a VHSL related sport this year. And then the last one, can a student finish in the academy program early if they take English, government, and the internship in term 1? And there will be an academy ceremony at the end of the school year for those who complete the full school year program. The capstone presentations will all be showcased in the spring, and it's driven by the master schedule when students are taking these classes. So you can, and this was for all seniors that Ms. George will probably address with all of them at some point. You can request to have English and government and internship term 1, but it's master schedule driven, so there's no way to necessarily know that that will be honored. It's a request that you make. There's only one graduation in June, and there's only one academy ceremony, we hope, in June. So hopefully that answers most of those graduating early questions. They're options for you guys. Like, we don't want you to not pursue them, but you need to understand the implications. If you choose to leave early, you might not be finishing with the academy program. Anything there? Okay, questions on scholarships. How will the school be handling access program and scholarships? Scholarships will still be available and promoted through VBCPS Scholarship Central and our KHS Schoology page for scholarships that Ms. Evans runs. It's probably not up yet, but she is back in the office. And the access program will continue to run with Mr. Altman when he returns to work, whether that, you know, in a virtual setting or, you know, face-to-face. We still have the access program. We still have an access advisor. So you would need to reach out to him directly. His name is Dylan Altman. So that is that question. So some questions on senior year and student involvement. How will a memorable senior year be created for students? We know this is an important time in your lives. This is really not how any of us want this year to go, wanted last year to go, want any of this to go. We're going to do everything we can to make this experience memorable for you, and we're committed to providing as many experiences as possible for you to have a memorable senior year. Just like we tried last year for our seniors who were graduating, we tried to do things that we weren't necessarily going to do beforehand, but we've tried to do some special things with graduation and the final lap, and through social media, we've tried to really do some things to make our seniors feel special, and we want you all to feel special as well. We do have to work within the guidelines provided to us by the state and our local school board, and we currently have committees working with different groups, and we have students on those committees. So if you have ideas of things that we can do, we're open to listening to them. Like, we know that we don't have all the good ideas sitting around our table. So we want to hear from you. If you have something that you think might be possible for us to do, or you want us to try and do, like, we're open to taking it into consideration. Reach out to a teacher, reach out to me, Ms. Thompson, Ms. George, Ms. Ritzis, and just like let us know, and we'll see if we can make it happen. I mean, I will tell you, parents asked for fireworks last year. That didn't happen, but they asked. I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask if there's something we can do to try and make it memorable for you. Like, we're open to talking about it. We know we don't have all the ideas, and we know you guys have really great ones. So, certainly reach out and let us know things that you have ideas for. And another question I got, are we going to have senior class elections? I mean, it's our hope. I will tell you personally, I pushed really hard to have elections, and some of it's above our heads here at Kempsville High School. It's not our decision. Some of it is done by our school division. And so We are hoping to get additional guidance on this topic so that we can have some sort of class election for you guys and for our entire school and student body. Transcripts and letters of recommendation. So you all can review your transcript now on parchment.com. You can go and create your own account and you can see your transcripts. You can see your courses, your coursework, all of that on there. And I believe it has your GPA as well, Ms. Thompson. Does
Yes.
it? Yeah.
I believe that they updated the junior, you guys' transcripts in June. All of you received your code last year from me to create your Parchment account. So hopefully most of you have done that. Transcripts will not be updated with class rank until the beginning of October. So that information will not be available yet. That is controlled by the division and central office. So once that's up, then you guys can start requesting them to be sent to your colleges that you're applying to for next year.
And how can I get information on letters of recommendation? So we got requests last year. I know I did. You could, obviously there are lots of teachers out there who you might be looking to ask to write you a letter of recommendation. You might also be asking me or Ms. Thompson. I know I have a file of letters to work through. It's my hope to get them done this summer. We've been throwing a few curveballs, so I'm behind on them. But we are working on your letters. Please, when you're asking for a letter, please attach your most current resume and please make sure you're asking for it at least 2 weeks before you need it in your hand, like need it to be sent off. So that way we have plenty of time to work through and get your letter personalized and written for you. I will also say with the Common App, and this was a common thing that happened last year, if you're using the Common App, your advisor, you should list Ms. Thompson because they're gonna ask her to put in school data and things like that, and that's not information that I know to put in. So I think I'm like an other recommender if you're using the Common App, and you're gonna wanna put Ms. Thompson as your advisor in the Common App. So
Same with Coalition.
same with Coalition.
And Ms. Thompson, there are a couple of questions around Parchment. What should we do if we have yet to create a Parchment account but do not have the code?
You can still create an account even without the code. The account is going to be based off of your VBCPS email address. So you should be able to go onto Parchment's website and still create an account without a code. So typically in a normal school year, we meet with seniors, the counselors meet with their seniors in September, and I would give you another copy of your code for those that haven't created their account yet. I'm not back to work yet, so I don't know what our plan is as a department for meeting with seniors. I'm sure that we will be doing something virtually, but I believe that you can still go in and create a Parchment account with your school email address.
And so is that the same? I guess this might be apparent. How can we get the login information if the student does not have it? It might be from a parent. A login to Parchment.
It should be with your VBCPS email, and so if you don't know a password, I would try the forgot password section. If you still can't get logged in and your student believes that they made an account, then let me know and I can try to help to retrieve that information.
And can you repeat the website for Parchment? Is it parchment.com?
Parchment.com.
Okay.
Yes.
And Ms. Thompson will be back in the office on Monday.
Next week.
So you're welcome to email her and email me, and we will try and get you what you need. I've been working with Parchment questions all summer, so I ask another counselor to help me, or folks have been able to go in and create their own accounts for it.
If you emailed me over the summer, I will be going through those emails next week. So I'll get back to everybody. Just be patient with me.
Okay. So, and with that, that's basically the questions that we got from you all and the information that we wanted to share, kind of an overview of what we've been talking about and what I know is important to you all. We ask that you complete your option and parent view as soon as possible. We're going to be calling if you haven't completed it, and those of you that selected option 2, we will also be calling to talk with you about those different courses that you may need that might not be offered at the VLC. reach out to schedule. Again, this is general. We didn't want to get into specifics and share everybody's business tonight. So this is, general information to go by. Schedule individual appointments based on what you need. If it's course information, that's going to be me and Miss Thompson. If it's internship based, it's going to be Miss Rutzis. But reach out to us via email. We can set an appointment. Sorry, I have a crying child. We can set an appointment with you via phone or email, or really fun to be able to meet with you.
There are two questions that came up that didn't fit into the other slides. One is about AP and what will those classes look like. And so I can just let you guys know that the AP, they're scheduled on the 4x4. So you'll have an AP class either first term, you could have another AP class second term, depending on how many classes you're taking. We are looking at trying to do some type of a bridge session. So if you had an AP class first term, that we would do something in the second term to help prepare you for AP exams. And we have no idea what AP exams are going to look like, if they're going to be similar to what they had at the end of the school year last year, or if it's going to be the traditional. We haven't gotten that information from AP, from College Board. And then another one is, how is graduation and prom looking right now? Well, optimistically, we would like to say it's looking like normal, that we're going to have graduation and prom like we normally would, but we don't know. And it's going to be a wait and see kind of game. So no idea. We have not made any plans. There has been talk about possibly having graduation in a very similar fashion to what we had this past June. So again, it's going to be a wait and see game, and we're going to have to just see what's happening. And when do schedules come out?
When they're done.
We're hoping the end of August.
Yeah, and this is
by the end of August.
Please understand that we're not trying to ghost you on the questions. There's a lot of information that we don't know. Our school board approved this plan last week, and so up until then we were kind of playing hypotheticals with the different plans that were given to us. So Ms. Trevino is working hard on the schedule for you to be able to log into Student View to hopefully see those the end of August. Just know that course requests are done. I mean, unless you want to add an internship, that I gave you that option tonight. Like, we aren't honoring requests for class changes, and we won't be honoring, requests for courses to be in term 1 or term 2. I mean, those are ultimately, they will go to Ms. George for approval if we say no, which is where we will most likely say with class changes. But this is a new environment for all of us. It doesn't hurt to ask. You can certainly put things out there to us, tell us what the issues are, and I hope you know that we've always worked with you. We will continue to work with you even in this fashion. It's new for all of us. We ask for your patience and understanding that we don't always have all the answers, but we'll try to get them for you.
We ask for flexibility, grace, and understanding through all of this. And a good question, what will the hourly class schedule look like? We have no idea right now. They are in the process of putting that together because they want to make sure that it mirrors, the virtual learning center mirrors what we're doing when we're back in the building. So that should be coming out shortly. We just don't know what that's going to look like. And then Ms. Bailey had a question, if we choose to take the internship both semesters, can we choose to drop another class?
Yes. It is a credit-bearing course that we found out that they can take a duplicate of. So hopefully it's an easy course for them. So that's a way to maybe add 2 A's into their schedule for the year. Provided I can't guarantee you an A, you have to do the work with Ms. Rutzis. But yeah, if you add it, it would be in term 1 and term 2, and you could drop something else right now. But if you're going to do that, I would ask that you please email me within the next week to let me know that you want to make that change, just because we're trying to finalize the master schedule.
And this is a unique situation where we're allowing you to drop a class and add this, because we did not have this as a choice when you were registering for courses at the end of the school year or in the spring. So, do not mistake this as you're being allowed to drop and add something and share that in a way that others think that they're not being allowed to drop. You're only being allowed to drop and add because this was not an option for you initially. So I just want to make sure that is clear. And they want to know if Ms. Thompson and Ms. Timlin, are you still accepting letters of recommendation, requested
Yeah.
letters of recommendation? Okay.
I'm happy.
I write letters all the way through May.
We'll be writing letters. Yes, we're happy to write
Forever.
letters for you guys. Just please email us the request with an updated resume. And
How about virtual Virginia classes, Ms. Thompson? Do you know anything about those?
They typically start even after a regular school starts because they like to give the kids some time to get the school year going. I haven't heard an exact start date, but those students that have registered for Virtual Virginia classes, I always communicate with student and parent through email. So I'll be sending that out once I'm back in the building.
Okay.
And
I think there needs to be some more clarification on this internship class, both terms. I think there might be a misunderstanding about it being a duplicate class, even though it's an internship both terms. It's not the exact same class. They're doing something different if they did the internship term 1 and then had it term 2, correct?
Correct. Term 2 they'd work with Ms. Rutzis. It would be more like an independent study where they would be continuing in the work that they started first term.
So that would give them the opportunity to work on their capstone project and have more guidance from Ms. Rutzis as they're putting that together, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And just a reminder, TCC on campus classes start August 24th. I'm waiting on one set of books to come in still, and then I will let you guys know and you can come pick up your book. I'll give you a window of when you can pick up your book. Please check the TCC on campus Schoology group for that information.
And then I think there's still, because it's 4x4 is so new to all of us, what if you only have an English class and an internship at Kempsville? What happens the second term?
Are they saying those are the only classes they're taking? Or like
That's, I guess.
We enrolled everyone in 6 classes because last year when we were registering you, traditionally you have to take 6 classes to be a full-time student. So all of our students were registered for 6 classes.
Yeah. Everybody's still registered for the classes they chose with Miss Timlin and I back in November, December, January, whenever you met with us.
And so like, I'll also say like, if this is a personal thing, like that you want to look at your particular one, email us privately outside of this session so that we don't like disclose your personal information.
Question about taking. Oh, go ahead, Ms. Thompson.
Well, somebody asked, will Parchment be updated with 2019, 2020 by September? Yes. So I just got confirmation that Ms. Phillips did upload your transcripts in June when she uploaded the graduates, the 2020 graduates. So if you went on Parchment today and requested a self-view of your transcript, it should be updated with your classes from last year. Now it won't have any summer grades because I don't put those in until I get them, next week or the week after. But they are updated with final grades from last year.
What about students who took personal finance? How about students who took personal finance over the summer with Virtual Virginia? Do they need the WISE exam? And if so, how will they take it?
I have to check to see if you have any other, most likely you won't need the WISE because you all already have your industry certification. So no, you don't need to take the WISE exam. How will students be able to get
passcodes for tests in Virtual Virginia if they can't be emailed?
So when COVID happened, Virtual Virginia, I believe the teachers stopped the passwords, or sometimes they will email the password to the parent, and the parent is considered the mentor, the student's mentor. So I would imagine that might be the same situation, but again, Virtual Virginia information, I always send out to students and parents via email. So just look out for emails from me if your child is registered for a Virtual Virginia class.
What if you do not see your fall classes for TCC in your SIS? Okay, hold on a minute.
Oh, she can't unmute. I believe TCC is working on getting everybody still enrolled for fall, but Miss Timlin can.
Yeah, if you don't see it by the week before, at least give us till 8/17. I resent
Yeah.
names today. They got it back. I will tell you, we're really good about that stuff. Our partners, like they are working through a lot of names from a lot of different schools. So if you don't see it by August 17th, let us know. But I resent the 24 names today.
When are you all going to do another wrap? Someone had to bring that up. And of course, it's someone who does not have a name associated with the question. Never.
So I think we're going to keep our day jobs right now, as stressful as they are. We're going to hang right here.
What do we do about students who still need the CPR requirement?
Ms. Thompson.
So, well, in the spring when COVID happened, the federal government, I gave the kids waivers who still need it, but I don't know if that's still gonna take effect for you guys.
Yeah, we'll write that question down and we'll ask that question
Yeah.
at there's upcoming school counselor meetings. We'll get some guidance on that, and what you would need to do to earn that credential.
If it's not going to be waived, then my suggestion would be if you need it, you can get it online through the American Heart Association or the Red Cross. And then once you've completed it, you just need to send me a copy of your certificate of completion. And then I'll make sure that the data tech puts it into our computer system as completed.
4x4 scheduling, if we request it for 2 excuse blocks, will we have 3 classes per term?
Ms. Trevino, well, and Ms. Trevino's worked to make that happen, yes. Ms. Thompson, as she comes back and she actually puts her hands on each one of your schedules, she'll be looking for things like that so that we would catch it if it, and sometimes guys, just keep in mind, if you requested certain specific singleton courses, it might be that you have to have a certain class 1, 2, and 3, and we have to give you 2 excuse blocks on another term because of, the way that your schedule is and the way their courses are offered. Our goal is to get you what you want, but sometimes that's just not how it lays out. So it's a big picture. There's 1,800 kids. There's almost 500 academy kids with a lot of staff members teaching a lot of different specialized courses. So just keep in mind we're dealing with a lot of factors and trying to make it all work. And we do our best to try and get you what you want.
Do we have a new
If there's
DE English
issues,
teacher?
We do have a new dual enrollment teacher. Her name is Miss Green, Sylvie Green.
Sorry, Ms. Thompson, you wanted to add?
If there's any issues with your schedule that we can't fix, I'll call you. You'll get a phone call from me.
CPR is requirement for the senior class for graduation, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
And again, like Ms. Thompson said, they did waive that requirement when COVID hit in the spring. And so we don't know if that's going to be waived or not going into this next school year.
I would plan for it to not be waived until we're told that it is, just because I don't want you to get to June and you don't have it completed.
And so I would think any CPR, I think we'll get more information coming out around that because I don't know how we can do a hands-on component at this point.
Yeah, I will double check when I'm reviewing senior records. I will double check which of you still need to complete the CPR training, and I'll be in contact with you. That's usually part of the face-to-face meetings we normally have in September with seniors.
A good question. Will the 4x4 schedule be during strict time, similar to how regular school is, or will we have a free scheduling like how it is during summer school? It is going to be more strict times. There's going to be defined times for synchronous and asynchronous learning, and we're waiting for that schedule to come out. It is going to look completely different than what it looked like during the emergency learning plan and the continuity of learning. Remember, this is new learning. Grades are going to be given. Assessments will be given. So it is definitely completely different.
Attendance is taken, and if and when we get back to face, we under our current schedule where we would be getting up and being at school at 7 o'clock in the morning. So just, if we get the green light that we're coming back, start to prepare yourself.
And then on a nice lighter note, what about parking passes when we return?
I mean, we'd be
I like
happy
the
to sell them
optimism.
to you. We'll be happy to sell you a parking pass. Do you want to also paint your spot? We'd love to let you do that too.
So we don't know, but we don't know what the parking pass situation will look like, what pricing will look like. That is a division set pricing point for the parking passes, but I appreciate you wanting to put in your mind there and thinking of driving to school already. So thank you very much.
Nothing more than any of us want than to have all of you back in the building with us. It is lonely and not as fun without you there.
Yeah, a school building is not a school building without students running around the hallways. So not the same. So thank you for the Zoom meeting. So thank you. You guys are welcome. We don't have any other questions in the chat box. Ms. Thompson, Ms. Timlin, and Ms. Ritzis, is there anything more that you wanted to add before we log off?
No, we'll put this recording out there. All of you will get it. And like I said, if you have individual questions, send us an email. We try to respond. We're getting an influx right now, but we try to respond to you within a day or so to try and get you the answer that you need. If not, we'll just reply, we're looking into it, and we'll get back to you. But let us know what's going on, because sometimes we haven't thought about it yet. So until someone brings up the question. So every question is a good question. So thank you guys for joining in tonight. We miss you.
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Miss you all.
And parents, I will say, I'll put in a plug, we're looking for some parents for the Friends of the EBA. We had some board openings, and that board was able to make some special things happen for that senior class last year at the end of the year. And I would say that if you want to make this memorable for your child, consider getting involved with that board so that they will have something. I can't promise that all of those things that were done for those seniors will be done without parents like you guys helping on that board. So if you're interested in getting involved in that board, please email me and I'll connect you with Christine Marsh, who's the new president.
All right. Well, I think that's all the questions we have. We want to thank you guys for joining us and for letting us try out our webinar skills on you for the first time. So I think we did okay. All right. I'm going to stop recording now, Ms. Timlin.
Okay. Good night.